Peace, family. This is your boy Gerald. It is December 31st, 2018, but you know it is New Year's Eve. Now, some of you may have saw my live feed earlier, not too long ago. I actually tried to put a video out not even 30 minutes ago, and I was actually on there for over an hour. And I gotta admit, I was in my feelings because the more I talked, the more I pondered. And because some of y'all know me, I'm a thinker. I reflect. And for some that don't, hopefully that whatever I convey, take what you need, disregard the rest. But I felt on my spirit this morning a certain kind of way because every year I always put out a video talking about 2019. Well, talking about the new year. And we're getting ready to go into a new season, 2019. And for some of y'all that know, this past week, you know, was a challenge for me because it called on me to. I don't like using the word good. I don't like saying goodbye. I don't. But it was a going home, and I was honored to be there to witness this celebration of life. And the weather was bad going. It was so much. It was so bad that I got in an accident and ended up rear-ending this lady, this young girl, this young lady, and not that I was distracted driving, but it was the fact that she stopped. I didn't have enough distance, and the Jeep hit her. Thank goodness no one was hurt. Jeep was fine, but she's gonna need a new bump. She's gonna need a new bumper though. That means that's money I have to come out of pocket, and I wish that that was something that never occurred, but it did. And anybody knows that has ever been in a rear end situation, the person that rear ends the person gonna get the ticket, no matter what the circumstances is. So that was me going, and you know, these last 120 hours have been very reflective for me because, you know, the relationship I had with this person was very significant, but I was in awe to hear the testimonies of the impact that this person made with his life, with other people. I was so inspired. And it also caused me to look at my life as a man and see that there's always room for improvement. Always room. Because nobody's promised mortality, family. We can agree on that. Nobody knows when your last day is, when it's going to be called upon. Nobody knows the moment of the time. Nobody. So we can't take our time for granted. We just can't, because that's why it's life. You're here to do a job, to inspire so that the legacy continues through those you are connected to through blood and bone, as well as indirect connections that you have with the people that make up your life story. So now that I got that out of the way, it also caused me to think about what this day, what what New Year's Eve, what does it symbolize for me? Because I know some of y'all are already thinking about the ringing in the new year with those that you find dear, toasting in a new opportunity, a new season, and you're entitled to that. I will throw this out there to the intended heart and mind. Please be safe and be be aware of your surroundings. First and foremost, please do that. And make sure that the same way that you leave is the same way you return. Because those who hold you dear in their hearts, those who rely on you, directly, indirectly, want to see you. Now that I got that out of the way, some of y'all may be pondering, well, what the hell are you going to do for New Year's Eve, Gerald? What's your plans? And I would be remiss not to tell you. I don't have to, but I pride myself in being a transparent person. And how I'm going to bring in the new year is pretty much take care of unfinished business. Now, some of you know that it is customary that y'all gonna cook up a big meal. Some of y'all gonna have black eyed peas to bring in prosperity. Some of y'all gonna do that. Some of y'all not, and you're entitled to it. But what I mean by unfinished business for me is I'm not going to take the same mentality and energy that I've had for this year. I will not bring it into the new year. So therefore, that means I must make peace and, in proverbial ways, divorce myself from some practices that do not serve me. Some of y'all right there just like, what about them cigarettes? Mm-hmm. Yeah. This day's the last day. And I know some of y'all gonna call me out. And you're entitled to it. Because you'll also see for 2019, I'm gonna be doing a lot of activity on my Journey of a Man channel on YouTube. If you don't have the channel, please subscribe. And I'm going to be taking a different direction with my life and actually focusing on my fitness and on my health. Mm-hmm. And I'm not just saying that to be a hypocrite, because that is required for where I'm going with my life. I have to be prepared, mind, body, and spirit. I have to do that. So today, I'm going to enjoy this last. I think I got maybe a pack left. I'm going to enjoy these cigarettes today. Sure is. I sure am. Another thing that I look forward to doing today, because I'm a firm believer, 100% of effort requires 100% of attitude. And the one thing that I will be doing today, I will be spending my time cleaning my house. Everything has a place. And the things that I need to clean up, I'm going to clean up and put it back in order, because everybody knows you tend to think better without clutter. How many of y'all know what I'm talking about? Some of y'all made a decision last week and you said, well, you know what? It might be something small as you're going through your belongings. So you know what? This doesn't serve me anymore. So I'm going to give it to someone who can. And you're going to decide to donate your stuff. That's a good thing. I used an analogy in the last video I was talking about shoes, and I said that if you know you wear a size 12, why are you holding on to those size 10s? And you could take that and apply that to your life. You can apply that to your your relationships. May it be economic, may it be emotional, may it be social. And I realized that before we can even make correction, we must acknowledge what needs to be corrected. And to do so, that means we must be transparent with ourselves to acknowledge its presence, its placement, not to question why, but to inspire what to do. So I'm going to be doing that too, because some of you know me, know the fact that I like to shop. I do have one of my guilty pleasures is sense of style. And I know some, well, how's that, Jerry? You always dress rustic. Yeah, because when you normally see me, it's because the clothes I'm wearing is what I wear for work, and it's comfortable, and it doesn't harm anybody, you know, and it's mine. But if you realize that you are holding on to something that you know good and well does not serve you, that is also a correlation or connection that there is an emotional trigger why you're holding on to it. And you've got to be honest with yourself to identify the reason. Is it something that was given as a token of appreciation? Or was it symbolic because of something that you may have been challenged and it is a reminder? You realize how many people this morning, as far fetched as it sounds, they're looking at them, they're looking at them tattoos they got. Because anybody that has ink knows that every tattoo has a story. It is nothing but a living testament of experience of what was going on at that moment. And I can say that because I've got four of them. And and I know that some people ink is very, very, very dear to them because that's their way of indirectly tapping into their emotional self because it's a living reminder of where they once was or a celebratory enshrinement that will last their mortality too. So I'm going to spend this day going through my house and putting things where it should. I'm going to make sure that and I'm okay with it because it's not that I don't want to go out and celebrate, but when you think about it, your life is a living celebration because it's you. It's a representation of you, what you stand for, and as well as what defines your actions. And that's fine. That's cool. As long as it's not done in, as long as you don't do it in excess or it's detrimental to what you're trying to do. So, celebrate, give thanks. You made it through this year. Because when you think about it, though, think about it. Think about where you were the beginning of the year, right? Now, think about how much movement you have done. You realize how much, I mean, some of y'all can gauge that on your odometer on your vehicle. Like, man, put a lot of mileage on there. But that does not matter to the memories. That is nothing but a reminder of where you once were. Even if it was your day to day, it wouldn't have any merit at all. But it still represents your journeys. Now, with that being said, I've also decided that my YouTube, like I said, I'm going to put a lot of effort on my other channel. Um, but it also makes me think about how, y'all know the Lil Duval song. Y'all know it. You didn't heard it. But have you actually listened to what the message that was conveyed? I'm living my best life. And you know the rest. So the real question should be asked, are you living your best life? Are you? Is there something that emotionally has you shackled that you know that you have got to release it? Because if you don't, it will follow you into a new season. Have you thought about that? Have you? Thank you. I'm gonna put it right here. There you go. Better. Because there are plenty of people that will talk about it and they will do nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing. They're gonna just stay the course. And I'm not saying this to sound judging, but the one thing that was etched in my spirit when I sat in that church for that going home ceremony, because we had church, they had church, and I was very moved and got validation for what I witnessed. Because one right there, you know, you think about the places you've been or the things you have been privileged to witness. You ever thought about that? That you can look at it from a perspective of, I didn't set out to do this, but your life showed you otherwise. And then you get to a point of reflection of like, man, who would have ever thought that I would have been in this fellowship? And what I mean by fellowship, I mean I attended that moment, because forever the commonality of that moment, you were included. Maybe good or bad. You your presence was there. Your presence was noted. So for me, I got a new attitude. And actually it's not a new attitude, it's what I should have been doing a long time ago. And that doesn't mean it comes from a place of malice, a place of negativity, a place of distraction. Nah, it's about living your best life. I realize nobody can live your life but you. They can add to it by validating whatever the emotional connection may be, because the people that are in your life are really nothing but really, when you think about it, they're nothing but a living reference of your state of being. Otherwise, why would they be there? You ever thought about it that way? They wouldn't be there. They wouldn't. So that hit home for me. That hit home. It hit home. And I know some people get in their feelings sometimes when I tell them, I said, well, you got to purge. You got to purge the things that do not serve your life. And some people take it as being, threatening. But when you think about it, just like to go back to the reference of the shoes, if you've grown in your development, why are you holding on something that does not represent who you are? And I know there might be some people that say, well, Gerald, I hear what you're saying. But why is it that people will bring up your past? I know I pulled the scab on somebody. They want to bring up choices that you made. But you know in your heart of hearts that's not who you are. You know why they do that? Because you're still in their present. And as long as you stay in their presence, that is what they're going to use as a template, because growth is done behind the scenes, behind closed doors. Ultimately, it is found within yourself. Because guess what? I'm describing change, family. And you don't need nobody's permission to change. The greatest change that you could ever do is found right here. Right here. And you don't need nobody's permission to change that. You don't need nobody to tell you, oh, why are you doing that? If you believe in it to be true, claim it, stand on it, personify it. And that's all that you'll have to do, because it will define your steps. Because it's you, it's who you are. But I used to always tell people all the time, I used to echo that all the time. I used to tell people, say, hey, do you know who you are? Do you realize how beautiful you are, how unique your life is? But better yet, do you realize how valuable your story is to be told? Or better yet, the responsibility that comes with living your life. So let's go back to that song again. Are you living your best life? Or are you aimlessly going down the stream of it? That's something that only you can answer. So I'm going to spend the day going within myself, putting things where they should be, taking care of unfinished business. And I know for some people, they may be like, that might be intimidating to hear. It has no impact, but it does have definition for myself. Now, I will tell you this. There are going to be some people that are going to be, they're going to be terrified because they're not going to understand what is going on. And it's going to cause them to second guess, question their relationship that they have with you. Because if they see all this change going on, innately it will cause them to reflect in themselves. Now you know how it goes. I done told y'all time and time again. Misery loves company, right? So why are you gonna go into 2019 with the same things that are holding you back? Maybe this is the day that you're gonna take that emotional backpack off and you're gonna open it up and you're gonna look at those things that you've been holding dear inside you that you're afraid to talk about, afraid to look at. But guess what? Those same things are gonna be there until you do. They're gonna be there. So you really are doing a disservice to yourself by carrying it with you. Maybe this is the season that you said, for some of y'all that saw that first video I put out, because I got to a point where I was like, I wanted to shut it down. And I was like, I don't want to put this out. Not that the fact that what I was conveying, I just didn't want to be winded. I just didn't want to do that. So I'm trying to be mindful of that. I'm looking at it's like 26 minutes already. So let me get back on my grind. I got social media out there that I'm connected to, and guess what? I'm deleting those accounts. Instagram, Patreon. I mean, I think Pinterest. I'm on there, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, nah, that's okay. So I'm deleting that too. And here's another thing that I'm doing. And it may shock some people because everybody's got Facebook, right? First thing I do is I got two accounts. One is for my family and the other is for my military family. And I realized that you got some people that are indirectly connected to your life that will never enhance it, but all they want to do is peek inside your life. Well, I've always been the type of person that I would always say you would know if you were there. And it's okay to be a mystery. Because not everybody's supposed to know your story, family. Not everybody. The select few will come into your life to add to it, but the chosen few will be a part of it. And that's okay. That's all right. It should not have an attitude of, well, carte blanche. You get it by default. Nah, man. Can't do that. 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 So I'm gonna restructure my presentation on social media too. And I hope one thing that I would like to say about YouTube, YouTube has been very comforting to me. The one thing you've never heard me put out there, and this is not to knock anybody, but I've my channel was never about, okay, how many likes can I get or how many donations. You never hear me say that because that's not why my channel exists. My channel exists to illustrate that no matter where you are, no matter what's going on in your life, you can make it better when you decide to invest in yourself. That's what it stands for. That's what it stands for. Not an instrument of embarrassment. Because we already know there are countless portals and platforms that will gladly make money off of your shortcomings. You know that. That's why they go viral, because that's somebody else's tool to educate and say, well, that's why they act that way. That's why I don't want you around them. To be somebody else's punchline or comic relief. Uh-uh. Mm-mm. Each one teach one, family. Each one teach one. So I'm gonna enjoy my cigarettes today, and not looking forward to the next couple of days, because everybody knows it takes 72 hours to go through a proper detox. But I'm committed to that, because I'm gonna put contact when I start putting content on my Journey of a Man web YouTube channel. I'm not gonna be smoking. I'm not gonna be doing all that. And that's the one thing for those who have that channel know. You notice that there's no content that's current. Why? Because I didn't want to be a hypocrite. That's the reason why you hadn't seen me really put anything out there. That's not what I stand for. Uh-uh. Sorry, I can't do it. I gotta keep it 100. I've got to be real to me. Now, let me turn the page on that, because like I said, it's over 30 minutes. So I'm going to hurry up and get this done. So my goals for 2019, to have a stronger uh, financial plan. Because that was another thing that I learned this past week, that if you haven't, always, you need to set up a just in case fund, or some of y'all know it as a rainy day fund, because I was not prepared for this. I'm not I'm not struggling, but that's still expenditures. That's still, you got to take from Paul to give to Peter. And but I don't have no regret of that, because I would have done whatever I had to do to get to where I needed to be at, no matter what, because of what he meant to me in my life. I will always treasure the conversations I had, and it was an honor to say that, hey, I knew him. I knew him, even if it was just for only 6 years. The fact that I I can I can say that I had a relationship with him, and his influence inspired me to be a better man than I am. Because as long as you're above ground, family, there's always room for betterment. It's always about being the best you. So that, with that being said, if it ain't inspiring you, leave it. Leave it here. Leave it in 2018. Leave it behind. And have the courage to do something different. It might take you a second, because it's new, but do it. And guess what? All it takes is you to put one foot down and one foot to follow up. And you'll be amazed how far you've gone. I mean, think of it this way, fam. Think about all the stuff that you've seen. Think about all the things you've done in this year. You can't even wrap your mind on that. It's, you just can't. But you've done a lot. Now imagine if you're all in and you're fully committed to yourself next year. Imagine. But you got to claim it first. You got to claim it. You got to claim it. You got to complain. You got to claim it. So, from me to you, your family, and those who love you dear, I want to wish each and every you. I want to wish each and every one of you a blessed, happy New Year. Make 2019 the year. Make that your coming out year. How about that? It's time. It's time. And guess what? You're worth it. Now, if you excuse me, I got a date with Spick and Span, Indus, and I gotta take down my Christmas tree. Yeah, I gotta do it. And it's about, some of y'all know about that feng shui, whatever. It's all about clarity, right? So some of y'all can, maybe you'll just start by this thing right here. This thing right here. This. This right here. You better look at those contacts, but let them go. Let them go. Because every time you see that number pop up, every time you have that interaction, if it does not spawn the best you to come out, that's just validation that you don't need to be there to begin with. And it might be scary at first, but I guarantee you, if you do so, not only will it redefine your worth, but it'll also define your respect. You guys have a blessed New Year. Be safe if you're out there celebrating, and let's go get it. Peace.